Get the bands on midfoot. Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Andy Baker of andybaker.com and owner of Kingwood Strength and Conditioning. And today is a pretty cool day because I'm getting to do a training session with one of my longtime personal training clients, Bradley DeBow. Bradley was played football and threw the shot in high school here in the Houston area. And now he is a thrower at the University of Oklahoma in his junior year, throwing the shot and the discus as well, or just a shot?
And the discus.
Yeah, the shot and disc there. So he's home on Christmas break right now. He's in a little bit of a deload phase right now with his strength and conditioning program, but he's coming in here to get some light workouts in, and I'm showing him some new stuff today that we've never worked on. One of the exercises that we're working on today, just showing him kind of how to set it up and how to do it, is a banded overhead press. Bradley was looking for an exercise to kind of work on that final phase of throwing the shot, that last bit of extension of the upper body, how to get a little bit more snap and a little bit more power there. And so I'm going to have him work on these banded overhead presses as part of his program when he can work them in. So they are, it's a difficult exercise to set up because you've got to have the right kind of area to do it. It's hard to do it inside of your typical power rack, especially if you're Bradley's height. He's 6'2". I could probably do it in there and not hit the top of the rack. Or if you've got an open rack, you could set it up with the bands on the pegs. But the way that we have it set up today, we've got some heavy dumbbells down here to anchor the bands, and then we've got mini bands here. Again, Bradley being 6'2" with a fairly long wingspan, by the time he gets up to the very, very top of this exercise, there's a lot of band tension on there. So this is not an exercise that you probably want to use a lot of band tension with. If you're a shorter guy with shorter arms, you might be able to use like monster mini bands or double these up or something. But for most people, especially if you're tall and you've got long arms, you're going to want to just do a single, like a mini band, anchor down to the floor so that you don't have too much band tension at the top. So the way that we're doing them today is just working for speed. We're not doing anything real heavy today because, again, he's in a deload and I just want to kind of teach him the technique. So we're doing 10 sets of 3 today with a fairly light weight. But one of the reasons I think these will be helpful for Bradley, not just because of the bands and their influence on the strength curve, but because relative to his overhead press, he's not real strong on these. And so the fact that he's not strong on these is kind of an indicator of it might be a weak point for him to work on. So he's going to try to implement these in his training program and see what kind of effect they have, not only on his throwing, but on his overhead press. So Bradley, let's get back in here and let's do another set. Before he gets going real quick, actually, let me remind you guys of one real important cue on here. When you set up on these bands, make sure that the base of the band where it's attached to either the pegs or the dumbbells is aligned with your midfoot. It's kind of hard to tell a little bit if you're the lifter, but you need to look down and look and make sure mainly that the bands are not like way out in front of your toes, or that's going to screw up the lift quite a bit. So as best as you can, you want to come back and you want to have the barbell obviously over the collarbone so it's aligned over your midfoot, but then also have the bands aligned over your midfoot as well so that the bands aren't pulling forward on the bar and you're only working on downward pressure. All right, Bradley, 3 fast ones.